What is community? Is it simply geography, or is it something greater? At East Coast Credit Union, we think a community is born when we gather together to share a burden and lend a hand, when we find common bonds. And like communities, credit unions share and grow and evolve. We have big dreams for what the members of East Coast Credit Union can accomplish together. And we believe that our members and the communities they are a part of are where we will find our greatest success. We want our roots to be strong and our canopy to be broad, to be resilient and capable of providing shelter and support to the widest range of members. It's important to us that they never feel that there's anything only a bank can do for them. If our members need help, we should be able to provide it. That's why we seek out growth and opportunity so we can be of better service to our members and communities. No matter what they achieve or where they go, we want our members to feel like we're part of their lives because we are our members, we are our communities, and that can never be left behind.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Melanie Sampson, and I am the chair of East Coast Credit Union's Board of Directors. I would like to officially call this meeting of members to order. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are respectfully gathered in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We also acknowledge the histories, contributions, and legacies of the African Nova Scotian people and communities who have been here for over 400 years. I would like to welcome everyone to the 2026 East Coast Credit Union Annual General Meeting. Once again this year, we are excited to provide members the ability to watch from the comfort of their own homes using the online live stream option. Members tuning in via live stream will also be able to ask questions or make comments by accessing the chat function in the live stream platform. It is located in the upper right-hand corner of the screen and appears as a chat bubble. Once you click the chat icon, you can choose Guest at the bottom of the screen, enter your name, and then click Join. We will be answering questions from both our members in attendance here and our members online during various points of our meeting. However, only those who are physically present in the room will be asked to make a motion and/or vote. Tonight's meeting, we will be referencing our annual report, our audited financial statement, and they are linked in the annual report, and the minutes from last year's annual general meeting, which can all be found on our website, which is www.eastcoastcu.ca. When asking questions this evening, please come to the microphone, which is located in the middle of the room, speak loud and clear, and start by stating your name. We would also ask that all questions be raised using this microphone, and that is so that all of the members in attendance here tonight and also those who are viewing our live stream can hear and understand the questions. We would like to note that the meeting this evening will follow Robert's Rules of Order. I would like to take a moment to welcome our special guests this evening, including our system partners. Thank you for attending our annual meeting. We appreciate your support. At this point, I would now like to introduce our head table. I'll be sitting here. Again, my name is Melanie Sampson, and I'm the chair of your board of directors. Next is sitting in for our president and CEO, Ken Shea, who is unfortunately unable to join us this evening. We have Sally Vanderweel, who is our senior vice president of member experience and strategy. Next to Sally is Caroline Dickey. She is our recording secretary for the evening. And last but certainly not least, Andrew Skinner Ryan, who is our parliamentarian, and scrutineer. At this point, I'd also like to introduce you to the rest of your board of directors who are seated in the audience. First, I'd like to introduce you to John Burke, and maybe as I say your name, you could just raise your hand, give a wave. John Burke, who is our Vice Chair. Kathy McDonnell Rankin, who is our Secretary, and Kathy also serves as the Chair of the Nominations Committee. Dan Fougere, who is the Chair of our Audit Committee. Tyrell Giffen, who was the Chair of our Credit Committee. Travis Gunn, who's a Director, I'm not sure if Travis is here. Christine Hanlon, who is the Chair of the Communications Committee. Julie Marchand, who is the Chair of the Governance Committee. Mary Oxner, a Director. Maurice Smith, also a Director. And certainly last but not least, as so many people know, Bill Timmons, he's the Chair of our Community Impact Committee. I'd also like to introduce you to the Senior Executive Team, which of course is led by our CEO, Ken Shea. In attendance, we have, as I've mentioned, Sally Vanderweel, who's the Senior Vice President of Member Experience and Strategy. Layla Cahill, there she is, Vice President of People and Culture. Our Vice President of Support Services and Risk, Kathy McReynolds, is unable to join us this evening. We also have Frank Viant, who is our Vice President of Finance and Corporate Services, appropriately sitting next to our audit chair. And Oliver Wilson, who is our Vice President of IT and Innovation. So maybe we could have a round of applause for all of those folks. This year's theme, Banking with Purpose, or Bank with Purpose, represents our commitment to what matters most, putting members' needs first and strengthening the communities we serve. Leading with a Bank with Purpose mindset, our board's focus extends beyond financial performance to creating meaningful, positive impact in the communities we proudly serve. I would now like to introduce our guest speaker for the evening, the Honorable Trevor Boudreau. Trevor is the MLA for Richmond. Prior to his election, Trevor served his community as a councillor and deputy mayor for the town of Port Hawkesbury, and he has also previously served as a board member of East Coast Credit Union. It was like a little come home celebration when he arrived. Outside of public service, Trevor is a practicing chiropractor and co-owner of a multidisciplinary health clinic that supports the Strait region. He lives in Cape Breton with his wife and two very talented and lovely children, and is deeply committed to the health and well-being of his community. Trevor is passionate about giving back and playing an active role in making his community a great place to live, work, and play. So please join me in welcoming Trevor to the podium to speak to you about how finding your purpose in volunteering and community service can lead to a more fulfilling life. Please welcome Trevor.
Yeah. Thank you, Melanie, and good evening, everyone. And it's a real pleasure to be here with you all this evening. And I was truly humbled when Caroline reached out to me maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago now, to see if I'd be interested in being the guest speaker here for the AGM for East Coast Credit Union. And I certainly know some of you here today. It was like a homecoming of sort, and it was great to see some of you. But for those of you who don't know me, I hope you won't be too disappointed. You see, I'm not a motivational speaker. That's not my trade. I am not someone who's going to give you those little tidbits or golden nuggets of inspiration that will drive change in your life. But I am someone who is driven by many of the same values that I believe the credit union movement strives for. The love of community, the wanting to make a difference, and people helping people. And like many of you here, my connection to the credit union started at an early age with my Fat Cat account. And each week I would bring $5 to my school, the Louisdale Elementary, where one of the staff from Louisdale Credit Union would take my money and make sure it got deposited, and I was very careful to make sure it was. And that was where my credit union journey started, but I've had other personal connections as well to the credit union. My mother worked at the credit union for almost 20 years, and my uncle, who was more like another father for me, he was a board member at Loosedale Credit Union for many years before amalgamation, and I like to credit myself with being one of the caretakers of the property at the credit union. I mowed the lawn at the credit union every week for 4 years during the summer as a student. And the credit union has helped me through many phases of my life, pretty much all of my phases, to be honest. I received a post-secondary bursary from the credit union when I graduated from high school. I've got multiple student loans from the credit union, which I've paid back. I think I've had 4 mortgages now with East Coast Credit Union, and just recently built a house with the help of certainly the staff in Port Hawkesbury that really took the time to care for me and my wife during what is a challenging time sometimes when you're building a home, but it was seamless with East Coast. And my business startup, I moved home 18 years ago and started my business, and it was East Coast who supported me by giving me my loan, my business loan, to actually start my business back almost 20 years ago now. And you know, so I'm really pleased to continue to be a member, and I'm really pleased that my kids have kind of followed in that as well. So they're both members and see the value, I think, of what the credit union offers. And so when Caroline reached out to me, she let me know that the theme for this year was about banking with purpose. And this theme resonates with me, the idea of purpose. Not only am I very purposeful in what I do in my life, almost everything I do in my life, I share this belief with many people who are around me. I talk to my children about finding purpose. And so when my kids leave the house to go to an event or to go to a party or to go wherever they're going to go, I always encourage them to make good choices, and it's about being purposeful with what they do. When I talk to my chiropractic patients, I talk about being purposeful with their movements. Movement is medicine, but if you do the movements the wrong way, it doesn't go over so very well. So it's about reducing injury. I talk to students who come for advice about finding purpose in their future careers. And I talk a lot to people who are close to retirement about what is it going to be like, and making sure they have a plan in retirement, and not just a financial plan, but about a life plan. And I often find myself talking about how what we do with a purpose in our everyday lives impacts the people around us. I believe that many of the values that we as people have are encouraged or are impacted by the acts of those around us. You see, many people grow up wanting to make a difference. They want to contribute, and they want their work and their lives to matter. And somehow, along the way, 2 parts of that path, our career and our purpose, can feel, separate. One becomes what we do, and the other becomes what we wish we had more time for. And today I want to challenge that idea maybe a little bit. I want to talk about how purpose is not something reserved for outside of work or someday in the future, but something that can be discovered, shaped, and lived through our careers, and rooted in volunteerism and community service. And more importantly, how that pursuit of purpose can lead to a more fulfilling life, not just professionally, but personally. And I guess I'll start with a simple truth, that purpose is rarely found all at once. It is not a lightning bolt. It's not a single moment of clarity where everything seems to make sense. More often, purpose is built through experiences, through relationships, and through the act of showing up. And one of the most powerful ways people begin to discover that purpose is through service, through volunteering, through stepping into spaces where the goal is not personal gain, but the collective good. And I truly believe the credit union values align so well with this, through how they support their members and how they engage their staff to make a difference in their communities. I want you to think about the first time you volunteered for something that mattered to you. Maybe it was helping at a local event. Maybe it was mentoring someone. Maybe serving on a board, supporting a community function. And at the time, it might have felt small, just something you could offer. But those experiences have a way of doing something much bigger. They shift your perspective. They connect you to people and stories you wouldn't otherwise encounter. And they ask something of you, not just your time, but your empathy, your energy, and your willingness to care. And in doing so, they begin to shape how you see yourself, not just as an employee or a professional, but as someone who contributes, someone who belongs, and someone who has a role to play in something larger. And that's where purpose begins. And I guess here's a bit of a connection to the credit union system, is that you are already part of an ecosystem that is built on service. The organization exists because of a commitment to community, to mutual support, to the idea that financial systems should work for people, not the other way around. But even within purpose-driven organizations, it's possible to feel disconnected from purpose on an individual level. To feel like your day-to-day work is just that, day to day. So the question becomes, how do we bridge that gap? How do we move from working in a purpose-driven organization to feeling a sense of purpose in our own lives? And I guess one powerful answer to this is we engage actively and intentionally in volunteerism and in community service, not as an obligation, not as a checkbox, but as an extension of who we are. Because when you step into your community in that way, something shifts. And I'll give an example of my time here as a town councillor. When I first started as a town councillor here in Port Hawkesbury, the whole community, and when I talk about the community, I don't just mean Port Hawkesbury, but the whole region came together to build a playground in one day. And of course, there was a lot of hard work that went on before that. There was a lot of fundraising, and I remember my dad and my uncle and I spending a couple of weeks before just prepping the ground so that when that day came and those 400 volunteers showed up, we could get it all done in one day. And you know, my kids and I, when we drive by it, and they're 15 and 17, they're not on the playground there a lot anymore, but they still talk about that day, and they talk about that pride and that purpose, and that's theirs, and they will make sure it's taken care of, right? Like it's part of who you are. And I think that's just a great example of seeing the impacts of your efforts. You see faces, not just statistics, stories and not just strategies. And those experiences have a way, I guess, of grounding you. They remind you of why the work matters. They reconnect you to the human side of everything we do. And I guess I'll share an observation about kind of volunteering in the community and community services. People who are deeply engaged in their communities often talk about how much they get back from that experience, and not in a transactional sense, but in a deeply personal one. They gain perspective, they build relationships, they develop skills they may never use in their formal roles. They discover strengths that they did not know they had, and perhaps more importantly, they feel a sense of meaning, a sense of that their time and energy are contributing to something that matters. And that's not accidental. That's the result of aligning actions with values. And alignment is at the heart of fulfillment. When what you do reflects what you care about, work, whether as part of your career or as a volunteer, stops feeling like something you have to get through and starts feeling like something you are a part of. And we can talk a little bit about careers here, because for many people, there's a misconception that if you want a purpose-driven life, you have to leave your career or do something entirely different. But that's not true. In fact, some of the most impactful, purposeful, filled careers are built not by changing direction, but by expanding engagement, by finding ways to integrate service into your existing path. And within the credit union system, there are countless ways to do that. Serving on local boards, supporting community initiatives, mentoring young entrepreneurs, participating in financial literacy programs, partnering with nonprofits. These are not side activities. These are extensions of your role as community-focused individuals. And over time, they don't just complement your career, they enrich it. They give context to your work, and they deepen your understanding of the communities that you serve. And they create a feedback loop where your professional skills enhance your community impact and your community experience enhance your professional perspective. And that's where purpose and career can merge. But I think it's also important to acknowledge something else, is that our time is limited. People are busy, and it can be difficult to know where to start or how to take on one more thing. So if you're wondering how to begin or how to deepen your engagement, let me offer a few simple thoughts. Start small. Purpose doesn't require a massive commitment from day one. It can begin with a simple step, a single hour, a single conversation, a single opportunity to contribute. Follow what resonates. You don't have to solve every problem. And choose something that genuinely matters to you. Because when you care, you stay engaged. And consistency is truly what turns action into impact. Be open to growth. Volunteerism can be challenging. It will put you in unfamiliar situations, and it will ask you to stretch. And stretching is a good thing from the chiropractor, right? Because growth is part of what makes the experience meaningful. And finally, recognize that it's not just about what you give, it's also about what you allow yourself to receive. Connection, perspective, a sense of belonging. And these are not byproducts, they are part of the value. And they are essential to a fulfilling life. And as we think of, I'm bringing this back now, banking with purpose, I would suggest that it's not just about institutional purpose, it's about personal purpose. It's about the individuals within a system choosing to engage, to contribute, and to connect. Because institutions themselves do not create impact on their own. It's the people that do. And when people feel connected to purpose, that impact multiplies. They show up differently, they lead differently, they make decisions differently. And they bring energy and intention to everything they do. And that ripple effect is very powerful. It strengthens teams, it deepens relationships with members, and it reinforces the very values that define the credit union system. And I'll leave you, I guess, with one thought, is that at the end of our careers, at the end of it all, we rarely measure our lives by titles or transactions. And there's a particular book that I read, and I read it every year or two. And the author actually has roots from right here in Port Hawkesbury. And the funny thing is when I bought the book and I've read it a few times, I didn't know there was a connection to Port Hawkesbury. But when I started researching a little bit more about the author, I understood the connection here. And the title of the book is The Leader Who Had No Title. And it's by Robin Sharma. And it's a parable or a story that challenges the conventional thinking that to be a leader and to affect real change, you must be sitting in a position of power. The lessons learned from reading the book are driven by a couple of ideas. And the first one's pretty obvious by the title of the book. You need no leader to be a title. The second idea from the book is that turbulent times build great leaders. And I would suggest a lot of us think we are going through some turbulent times. And there are people who will be leading, and I think those will come through in these times. Maybe not the people who think they are the leaders, but we'll leave it at that. The third is the deeper your relationships, the stronger your leadership. And I think about when I was campaigning the first time for provincial politics, so 6 years ago or 5 years ago, and I was door knocking, and there were 2 or 3 people who said the same thing to me, or similar quote to me, and they said, people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that talks about building relationships and building that trust with people, and that when people trust you, that's when you lead, and that's when your leadership really shines through. And the last one is, to be a great leader, you have to first become a great person. And there's a lot of great people in Cape Breton in particular. I know Nova Scotians, it's across Nova Scotia. I'm a bit biased about the Cape Breton side of things, but there's a lot of good people here, and they lead by example, and We're very privileged to have some of them on our board, but also members in our community that are leaders here. And I would say that all of this makes sense. I think being purposeful in our lives creates a win-win situation. It's a win for our communities, it's a win for ourselves. And when we figure out that we get a lot out of it, it's a big moment. And we remember moments. We remember people. People remember the way we showed up and the difference we made. And volunteerism and community service give us more of those moments. More opportunities to connect, more chances to contribute, more ways to live in alignment with what we believe. And in doing so, they just make our communities stronger. But they also make our lives much richer, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. So as we continue down this path, and whatever path our members take, and within your organizations or within your communities, I would ask you and encourage you to ask yourself, where can I step in? Where can I contribute? Where can I connect more deeply to the people and the purpose around me? Because the answer to those questions may not just shape your career, but they may shape your life. And with those few words, I thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to chat with some of you afterwards, and you can grill me on some of these questions.
I'd just like to offer Trevor this, because we thought after being on the board, he maybe didn't have enough merch with our, he didn't have any with the new logo, so he needed some new logo stuff. Yeah, he needed a new logo. I also want to say, when Trevor was speaking, I just jotted a few things that like really hit home with me. And when he talked about living life with purpose, and he talked about how, you know, when you live your life with purpose, you could also learn a lot. Like, you're giving back, but you also learn, you know, empathy, energy, this willingness to care, and consistently doing that. And having sat on multiple committees with Trevor over the years, I can tell you that he does live his life with purpose, leading with empathy, energy, and a willingness to care to people. And thank him for sharing his thoughts with us tonight. So thank you, Trevor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't have any new logos.
I know. He said, I don't have any new logo stuff. I said, I know. Okay. So we're going to get into some businessy parts of the meeting. And so the first businessy part is our introduction for the declaration of the quorum. So our bylaws require that 16 members in attendance, that we require 16 members in attendance to constitute a quorum for tonight's meeting. We have confirmed that we have 63 members attending the annual general meeting in person this evening, and therefore I declare that we do have a quorum. I would like to take a moment, we would like to take a moment to honor members who have passed away and others in our communities who have faced challenges and adversity. We would like to pay special tribute to an individual who was deeply connected to our credit union. Ann Sears was a retired educator and administrator, and Ann served on our board of directors from 2016 to 2025. And for many previous years, she served on the Bergen Grand Credit Union Board. She served on the audit, CEO evaluation, communications, executive, and her specialty, the nominations committee, throughout her tenure. And for folks who attend our annual meetings regularly, you would remember Ann coming forward to give the nominations reports, and she always had a great joke, and I wanted to put one here, and I didn't have the heart to do it, because I knew I could never do it the justice that she would do. Ann was a dedicated community volunteer. Over the years, she served as a municipal councillor, she was a municipal school board member, she was on the board of governors of St. FX University, and she held executive positions with various sports teams in the Antigonish area. Ann brought dedication, leadership, and community spirit to our organization. She is deeply missed, both as a colleague and as a friend. At this point, I would like you to join me now in a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. At this time, I would like to call for an approval of tonight's agenda, a copy of which was included in your meeting package. Very important here that for folks who want to move or second the motion, that they ensure that they give their names when moving and seconding. And also, if you could come to the microphone so that we can make sure that the folks at home are hearing you as well. And that's usually the part that catches people. They're like, I'll give a motion, I don't want to get up, but if you're close to the mic. All right, so can I get a motion from the floor for approval of the April 22nd, 2026 East Coast Credit Union Annual General Meeting agenda? We need a seconder. John, make your way.
Come on, John. Kayla Partridge.
Yes, great. Kayla Partridge, and a seconder.
John Burke.
Thank you, John. Moved by Kayla and seconded by John that we approve the agenda as presented. All of those in favor signify with an aye. Contrary minded. The motion is carried. The agenda for tonight's meeting has been approved. I would now like to reintroduce Andrew Skinner Ryan. Andrew serves as legal counsel for Atlantic Central and League Savings and Mortgage, and will be acting as parliamentarian and scrutineer for our meeting this evening. So welcome, Andrew, and thank you for agreeing to perform these duties for us this evening. For the process of approving the East Coast Credit Union April 16th, 2025 AGM minutes, and a copy of those minutes were made available to members on our website. So prior to making a motion to approve those, I would ask the floor if there are any amendments to those minutes. Silence. Given that there are no amendments, I would ask for a motion from the floor to approve the East Coast Credit Union April 16th, 2025 AGM minutes. So again, please come to the microphone and state your name.
Colleen Roberts.
Thank you, Colleen. A seconder, please. Oh, Kayla, thank you.
Kayla Partridge.
Excellent. It has been moved and seconded that the minutes be approved. All of those in favor signify with an aye. All those opposed? The motion is carried. The minutes from the April 16th, 2025 East Coast Credit Union Annual General Meeting minutes are approved. This past year has been a remarkable one for East Coast Credit Union. It's been marked by meaningful progress, strong momentum, and a clear focus on what matters most: you, our members. It has been a privilege to share an overview of our work and recognize the board's role in supporting the continued strength and direction of our cooperative. In 2025, the economic environment showed promising signs of improvement. Inflation eased, interest rates began to settle into a more stable range, and some households started to feel the benefits of a more balanced financial climate. Despite ongoing global uncertainties and unpredictable events, optimism remains as conditions steadily strengthen across the province, reminding us of the resilience and adaptability within our communities. Against that backdrop, the board stayed focused on positioning East Coast Credit Union to serve members with confidence, today and well into the future. A standout milestone was the successful integration, my tongue is not working properly, of the Provincial Government Employee Credit Union on January 1st, an exciting step that broadened our reach and further strengthened our cooperative system. We also celebrated the opening of our beautiful new branch in West Bedford, expanding our presence in a growing community and reaffirming our commitment to accessible, community-based service. We also made important strides in modernizing our core banking system, an investment that will strengthen our capabilities and help shape an even more responsive, member-focused future. Just as importantly, the board continued to champion responsible financial stewardship, strong risk management, and the ongoing growth of our community impact and diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. We were proud to take part in several community impact initiatives across Nova Scotia, showcasing the real difference our cooperative model makes for members and the communities we call home. These priorities reflect our cooperative values, and they remain at the heart of how we define, deliver, and measure success. I would now like to share with you a video highlighting our 2025 Community Compass Grant winners who were selected based on their alignment with a social enterprise or cooperative model, potential impact of their programming, and expected benefits to their communities. This past year underscored the collective strength of our organization. Our employees continue to go above and beyond with personalized service and genuine care. Our leadership team provides thoughtful, steady direction, and our members inspire everything we do through the trust they place in us to support their financial well-being. Throughout the year, the board and management dedicated substantial time to strategic planning with a continued focus on long-term sustainability. We continue to explore potential amalgamation opportunities to strengthen us as a credit union system in Nova Scotia. The exploration has been guided by clear principles such as member value, fair and transparent treatment of employees, long-term financial and operational sustainability, and continued commitment to our communities. This exploration reflects the board's proactive approach to providing oversight and ensuring we take steps to promote the long-term interests of our members. As we look ahead, the board is energized by what lies before us and remains committed to guiding East Coast Credit Union through an evolving financial landscape, while staying true to our cooperative principles. With a clear strategic path and a continued commitment to responsible growth, we are well positioned to build on this momentum and embrace the opportunities ahead. On behalf of the Board of Directors, thank you for your continued confidence, engagement, and support. It is really a privilege to serve our members and communities, and we look forward to celebrating what we will accomplish together in the year ahead. We take pride in supporting our youth community leaders with bursaries, recognizing their vital role in the future success of East Coast Credit Union and our communities. This year, East Coast Credit Union offered 15 $2,000 bursaries, including bursaries for the child or grandchild of an employee or board member. The Bursary Selection Committee had the very difficult task of identifying the top candidates who were chosen based on their community and school involvement. I would now like to share with you a video presentation of our 2026 bursary winners.
Hello, my name is Adrienne Hain, they, them, and I'm a graduate at Dr. John Hugh Gillis Regional High School. Because studying at university is going to be a 4-year-long adventure for me, I don't know where I'm going to end up, but right now, my dream is to come back to Antigonish with all the knowledge and people and opportunities I know from learning there. Thank you so very much, East Coast Credit Union, for helping me attain my goals. Expect to see me popping through the branches when I come home to Antigonish and telling you guys all about my amazing artistic adventures in Halifax. And I'm so excited to just show you guys how much this means to me and what great things I can do with this money.
Hi, my name is Carly Stewart, and I'm currently a grade 12 student at Dr. John Hugh Gillis Regional High School in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. In the fall, I will be attending the University of Prince Edward Island, and I have been accepted into the Bachelor of Science program with my future plans of pursuing radiology. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity for this bursary. Since I will be moving out of province and living on campus, the money will go directly towards my tuition and residence fees. I want to say thank you again for choosing me.
My name is Jaden Cameron, and I am currently attending Dalbury Academy and will be attending NSCC Ivany campus and enrolled in the Electrical Engineering Technology program. The East Coast Credit Union Bursary Award will greatly contribute to my secondary education. This generous award will lessen the financial burden of tuition, textbooks, rental costs, and living expenses. I am extremely grateful for this bursary. Thank you.
My name is Adriana Benedum, and I will be graduating from École Académique Pumpket this June. I've been accepted to Cenevex, where I will be enrolled in the 3-year Diploma of Engineering with Bachelor of Science, majoring in Physics. I'm truly honored to be awarded this East Coast Credit Union bursary. This generous support will help me continue my education while staying actively involved in my home community of Pumpket. As a junior firefighter, giving back to my community is very important to me. This bursary will allow me to continue volunteering and supporting those around me while pursuing my academic goals. I'm very grateful for this opportunity and from the support from the East Coast Credit Union in helping me take the next step in my journey. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Isla Corkum, and I'm a grade 12 student at Dr. John Hugh Gillis Regional High School in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. Next year, I'll be attending Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick, and pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Biopsychology. I am so grateful to be a recipient of this award. This bursary will make a significant impact on my ability to pay for tuition and residence and all the other fees that come with university. It will also help me reach my long-term career goal of becoming a trauma counselor. Thank you, Selection Committee.
My name is Haley Fader. In June, I'll be graduating from Charles Dalen High School, and in September, I'll be attending Mount Allison University while taking the Bachelor of Commerce with Aviation program. What this is, it'll give me my university's degree along with my pilot's license. I want to say a huge thank you to the East Coast Credit Union for selecting me as the 2026 bursary winner. This will allow me to focus on my education while relieving some of the financial costs along the way. This will allow me to pursue my long-term goals of being a pilot while allowing people to explore, travel, and experience the world.
Congratulations to all of our bursary recipients. Look at all those bright young people living their life with purpose. I love it. We wish them obviously the best of luck with their studies, so much success. At this point, lucky you, I'm going to turn the floor over to Sally, who's going to deliver the CEO's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone here and online. I'm honored to have the opportunity tonight to highlight our remarkable achievements, significant milestones, and unwavering dedication to our valued members and vibrant communities across Nova Scotia. This past year marked an outstanding chapter for East Coast Credit Union, defined by strong momentum, meaningful progress, and the trust our members place in us every day. As we expanded and invested in new ways to support members, we stayed grounded in what makes us who we are: local decision-making, trusted advice, and a genuine commitment to community impact. For us, growth is never just about size. It's about service, how well we meet members' needs, enhance access and experience, and remain closely connected to people and communities across Nova Scotia. 2025 was a pivotal year in East Coast's modernization journey, one we can feel proud of. Our performance reflects stability and resilience, and we are well positioned for what's ahead. Membership reached 60,000, and our assets grew to over $1.7 billion. Our loan portfolio achieved $1.5 billion, supported by prudent lending practices and strong member relations. With equity standing at 7.5%, East Coast Credit Union will continue investing in people, technology, and experiences so we can serve our members with even greater care and efficiency for years to come. Our subsidiary, Yes Capital, continues to play a vital role in supporting Atlantic Canadians by providing flexible access to capital, particularly for those to achieve home ownership in challenging housing markets. Their strong performance and growth this past year has added significant value to East Coast Credit Union and strengthening our ability to serve members today and into the future. The opening of our new West Bedford branch marked an exciting step forward for East Coast and reflects our continued commitment to growth in new communities. Located in one of HRM's fastest growing and increasingly diverse neighborhoods, this modern space was designed to encourage connection, support financial well-being, and strengthen our presence in the area. In its first few months, the branch has already seen significant growth in member engagement, reinforcing the value of being present, accessible, and ready to help. As our 20th physical location, it is a clear sign of our ongoing commitment to accessibility and exceptional member experience. Exceptional service remains at the heart of who we are, and we continue to strengthen how we support members, both in branch and through the continued evolution of our virtual branch. We invested in expertise and capacity so members can access trusted guidance wherever they are. Just like our in-branch teams, our virtual branch team is made up of financial professionals working across Nova Scotia, bringing local understanding and personalized supports to members wherever they live. Across the province, our teams focus on practical advice and a warm, welcoming East Coast experience rooted in cooperative values and a commitment to helping members thrive. We also achieved a major milestone in April of 2025 with the successful conversion of our core banking system. one of the most significant transformations in our history. We completed major upgrades to our online, our mobile, and in-branch banking systems, strengthening functionality, accessibility, and long-term reliability. We are grateful to our members for their patience and trust through this process. Together, this milestone creates a strong foundation for the next phase of our digital transformation and opens the door to even more innovation, security, and seamless experiences in the years to come. East Coast Credit Union was proud to be recognized for the impact we continue to create together. We celebrated the national recognition of Katrina Turnbull. Katrina, can you stand up for a minute? She's our Director of Enterprise Digital Excellence, and she received the Canadian Credit Union Association's National Young Leaders Award. This is an outstanding accomplishment and acknowledgement of leadership and innovation, helping drive our organization forward. We were also very honored to receive the prestigious Coady Award, recognizing our leadership, volunteerism, and community impact work. Our community partnerships were further recognized through our collaboration with the Upward Mobility Kitchen, who received the Empowering Your Community grant from Concentra and Equitable Bank in support of our Waste Not, Want Not program. This initiative reduces food waste, creates employment, and provides nutritious meals across HRM. We also celebrated 20 years of partnership with L'Arche Cape Breton, a meaningful milestone that reflects our long-standing commitment to building inclusive and supportive communities. Together, these acknowledgements are a powerful reminder of what our people make possible and the impact we can achieve alongside our partners and members. I would now like to share a video highlighting the partnership between East Coast Credit Union and Upward Mobility Kitchens, which first began in 2024.
East Coast Credit Union is excited to partner with a Better Life Foundation and Upward Mobility Kitchens to deliver Upward Kitchen and Cafe at the Nook on Goddigan Street.
This community food hub will provide healthy, chef-inspired meals to community members in need through a food service window, token program, and direct delivery. In addition, the cafe will implement the Waste Not, Want Not initiative to repurpose food waste, positively impacting food security and reducing waste in our community.
The work we're doing here, particularly at the Nook, with the token window, Waste Not, Want Not, and the frozen meals that we're going to be providing, is coming at a time of the deepest food insecurity that we've seen in over 50 years in the Maritime regions. We couldn't do this without the support of East Coast Credit Union as a long-term partner.
East Coast Credit Union is providing $150,000 a year for the next 5 years. And what that money was designed for was to allow the program to have the operational capacity to start. It meant that there was an ability to hire coordinators, food providers, people to ship stuff around. All those things are supported by that donation.
East Coast Credit Union's support of Waste Not, Want Not is not only invaluable to us to have a long-term partner fiscally, but also we have shared values. They come through, they volunteer in our kitchens, they spend time making the food with us, and that connectivity between organizations is really what we're looking for.
So we think this is a great partnership. It's going to be something that we're going to be doing for the next number of years, and we're really excited about the impact it's going to have.
This is dangerous. I'm going off script. No. But I just wanted to add, we do give funds to this program, but we also have 2 staff members that go every Friday and actually prepare meals in the space. And I think, as Trevor mentioned, it's as rewarding for our team and our staff to be out in community and do these pieces as it is to be giving. So we receive as much as what we are giving back, and so it's a wonderful initiative for our staff, and it's been really impactful in the community as well. So East Coast Credit Union continues to deepen its community impact through a strong and growing commitment to environmental, social, and governance principles. We are proud to support belonging and inclusion as a gold sponsor of the 2025 Halifax Pride Festival, reinforcing our pledge to help build safe and equitable communities across Nova Scotia. Our partnership with Halifax Tides, the region's first professional women's soccer club, reflects the same commitment. Together, we support leadership and youth development through Atlantic Canada while celebrating the resilience and talent of female athletes who inspire both on and off the field. Our involvement in culture and community initiatives, from presenting the Nova Scotia International Tattoo to amplifying the work of local affordable housing developments through Cody's Place 2 in New Glasgow, demonstrates our ongoing investment in programs that strengthen the communities we serve. Our B Corp certification reflects our commitments to long-term, value-driven growth, holding ourselves accountable to rigorous, independent standards placed on financial performance with positive outcomes for our members, communities, and environment. This year also brought meaningful opportunities to support important conversations and causes across the province. We joined Habitat for Humanity Nova Scotia in hosting the inaugural National Housing Day Summit, bringing together leaders and advocates to address the critical needs for affordable housing. We were honored to contribute $10,000 to settlement in Antigonish for families everywhere, safe, during their 10th anniversary celebration, supporting their ongoing work in the community. Our participation in the Local Loyal Challenge and the continued work of East Coast Credit Union CU Cares reflects our commitment to supporting local businesses, organizations, and neighbors across Nova Scotia. On behalf of our staff and management team, thank you for your trust and support. We are grateful to serve members and communities and look forward to achieving much together in the coming year.
Thank you, Sally. It's always so wonderful as we recap the year and look back and reflect on all the wonderful things we've been able to do together. At this point, I would ask if there are any questions on either of the reports, either the report presented by myself as the chair or Sally, who's presented the CEO report. And so we would take questions from the floor, and if you're online, just a reminder that you're able to do your questions using the chat bubble, and Caroline will let me know if there's any there. And if you're here in the room, please come forward to the microphone and state your name and your question. There is something online, okay?
And it's just,
Okay.
do you want me to?
Sure.
So the question is about our membership. So our membership did rise significantly over the past year. It was in relation to 2,500 increase would have come from our PGE amalgamation, provincial government amalgamation. But the most significant change came with our core banking conversion. And it's just a way that we're now counting members. So before, if you were joined on an account with, so for my husband and I, Paul, we would have been counted as one if we just had one account. And now each member is split, so you're getting counted as myself, I would be one, and my husband would be one. And so that's the differential. But it's more of a true representation of our membership and our numbers. So there was a significant, it was like 28% increase. So if you looked in our annual report, you would see that.
Thank you, Sally. Any other questions online, Caroline? No? Last call for questions from the floor. Okay, given that there are no further questions, I would now like to welcome Erica Armstrong and Kayla Partridge to the podium. We've asked them to share an overview of a global cooperative initiative that they, along with several other East Coast Credit Union staff members, took part in earlier this year. I am so excited for this. So welcome, Erica and Kayla.
Oh, good. Oh, it's down here too. That's nice. Hi, everyone. I'm Kayla Partridge. And
I'm Erica Armstrong.
And we are both employees at East Coast Credit Union. This presentation highlights East Coast's long-standing partnership with the Cooperative Development Foundation of Canada, which we will just call CDF so that we don't tongue-tie ourselves. We will share how this partnership supports global cooperative development, women's leadership, and mutual learning. Today's focus is on Uganda, where we went not that long ago, 2 months roughly ago, the Women's Mentorship Program and the ripple effects of cooperation beyond borders.
Next slide. All right, so what is CDF? So CDF Canada is a national charity that strengthens sustainable, inclusive economies through the cooperative model. They engage Canadian credit unions as mentors, partners, and collaborators, not just donors. Their work focuses on economic inclusion, women's empowerment, and climate resilience. East Coast Credit Union partners with CDF because their values strongly align with the cooperative principles and people-centered development. Next slide.
Perfect. So just about the Women's Mentorship Program specifically within CDF. It was established in 2002 and it operates in 26 countries. It's empowered over 250 women through leadership training. It includes women coming here to Canada for 2 weeks of intensive training in Ottawa.
Yep.
Ottawa? Yep, okay. And then a 10-day credit union placement. So they go across Canada and are placed with a credit union and are hosted in employees of the credit union's home as well. Ongoing mentorship then takes place when they return home, and there's a global alumni network. The goal is to build confident, skilled leaders who strengthen cooperatives in their home communities.
Awesome. So what we were really focused on with our group was the ECHO Uganda program. So essentially, ECHO Uganda was co-created by Women's Mentorship Program alumni Dorothy and Mercy after participating in the program in Canada. They wanted to build something locally led and culturally grounded and sustainable. So ECHO Uganda focuses on building confidence, leadership capability, financial literacy within cooperatives. To date, they have had 4 cohorts and over 110 participants. So this impact extends beyond the cohorts into their community with entrepreneurial support, financial literacy programs, including supporting entrepreneurship, doing things like bookbinding and craft production. The next cohort will launch in May with approximately 40 women attending. The reason why ECHO Uganda has been so critical in this movement is really facilitating the mentorship program in local languages, making flexible sessions for mothers and caregivers, and opportunities for women who would not otherwise have the opportunity to come to a program in Canada. Many of the graduates advance into leadership roles and support their colleagues in future development.
So leading the initiative was East Coast Credit Union with the engagement of CDF Canada in supporting the cooperative development in Uganda. Rather than working alone, ECCU invited other Canadian credit unions to participate, including the Excel group as well, to engage young leaders. The collaborative approach strengthened the knowledge sharing, the emerging leadership development, and the regional and global cooperative relationships. This initiative just continuously reflects ECCU's commitment to a system-wide collaboration.
All right, so this partnership is not new for us. This partnership has really started back in 2014, where Sally and others have supported this program. So we've had 5 participants that have come in 4 different time periods. You can see here on the slide. So essentially for this, they did things like visit branches, work closely with our staff to share knowledge and expertise, really facilitating mentorship in a ground level. Each hosting experience strengthens the mutual learning and long-term relationships between the participants and the credit union staff, and has the ability to share that knowledge not just with one person, but across the organization.
So Global Learn and Share is, that's okay, is designed around 5 core dimensions: learning, observing cooperative models in actual practice; sharing, exchanging knowledge and sector experience; the connection, building lasting professional relationships; reflection, linking insights to personal and organizational growth; and collaboration, identifying opportunities for ongoing partnership. The experience is reciprocal. Everyone both learns and contributes, and I can say that our whole team that went, I know we learned just as much, if not more, than what we were able to provide the women there.
So now I'm going to talk a little bit about our actual experience. So part of the experience was doing things like SACO visits. And as you can see here, it's a savings and credit cooperative organization. So the things that we did other than just visit the credit unions was meet with people like the board of directors, the founders, the frontline staff. We observed strong community validation through public recognition. We had news crews out when we were doing things in the community. We did tree planting ceremonies. And we were engaged with the women there to learn about their initiatives, things like He for She movements, where they required the engagement of male allies to really support the movement. We saw direct economic impact through women-owned businesses and product sales. So as we talked about things like bookbinding and craft making, they came and showed us their crafts, and we were able to buy things at their market. So we really got to experience the effects of the program. Also, the governance practices and member services have strengthened as a result of the Women's Leadership Program. So we really got to get down to the ground and learn how this program has really transpired and be inspired by the women there.
So as we look at the ripples of impact and how everything is still unfolding, Mercy and Dorothy, who founded the Echo Uganda program, will be coming to Canada in May. Thank you. May, continuing the cycle of exchange and enabling the creation of additional Echo modules in other countries, not companies. So just to expand on that, I guess, a little bit, is what they've done in Uganda. They are explaining to other women who come to Ottawa how they did it, how they were able to be successful with it, and we're hoping that that just continues to snowball and strengthen the world. ECCU will continue hosting 2 new Women's Mentorship Program participants from May 31st to June 9th, and Sally and I are both very blessed because we both were taking 2 women, one from Ethiopia and one from Kenya, and Sally and I are both home hosting. So I'll have one lady staying with me and another lady will be staying with Sally. So we're pumped. Anyways, this strengthens our mentorship capacity and improves our hosting practices. On a personal level, participants were inspired by strong women leaders and gained deeper understanding of global challenges and resilience. That is a huge point there for that one. Reinforced the importance of knowing your membership and ensuring products, services, and programs reflect your community's needs.
Awesome. And that's it.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Erica and Kayla, for that. It was awesome. At this point, we would like to share a video presentation from our auditing firm, BDO, which will provide, we're going from one thing to really another, aren't we? The transition. Providing highlights from the auditor's report on the 2025 East Coast Credit Union audited financial statements. So we'll watch the video from BDO now, please.
Good evening. I am Kelsey Montgomery, an audit partner with the Atlantic Canada office of BDO Canada and the engagement partner who led the audit of the consolidated financial statements of East Coast Credit Union for the year ended December 31st, 2025. BDO Canada issued an independent auditor's opinion on the consolidated financial statements of East Coast Credit Union on April 7th. BDO Canada also issued an opinion on the financial statements of Yes Capital Inc., a company controlled by the credit union. The results of Yes Capital have been fully consolidated into the financial statements of East Coast Credit Union, with all intercompany transactions eliminated. Our audit opinion concluded the financial statements presented fairly, in all material respects, the financial position and performance of East Coast Credit Union for the year ended December 31st, 2025, in accordance with international financial reporting standards. BDO's audit report outlines the responsibility of the auditors and management for ensuring the financial statements present fairly the financial position of the credit union. Management is responsible for the preparation and presentation of the financial statements. You'll be hearing from management this evening the results of the credit union for the year ended December 31st, 2025. Management is also responsible for the design and implementation of an internal control environment that appropriately captures the financial information and adequately safeguards the assets of the credit union. As independent auditors, our responsibility is to provide an opinion on the financial statements. This includes ensuring the accuracy and completeness of the disclosures made in the notes to the financial statements. We conducted our audit in accordance with Canadian generally accepted auditing standards. Our audit approach is risk-based, meaning it's targeted to the areas where errors or fraud are most likely to occur. Our approach also includes a combination of both substantive and internal control testing and heavily leverages specialized teams that focus on the IT environment of the credit union and the inherent risk in the heavily automated environment. We met in person with and reported our findings to the audit committee of the credit union on April 2nd. We also discussed some upcoming changes to IFRS, which will be impacting the financial statements of the credit union in the next 2 years. BDO will continue to engage with ECCU management to discuss and assess the impact of the upcoming IFRS standards. I would like to take this opportunity to thank management of the credit union, in particular Frank, the Finance and Corporate Services and Credit Solutions teams, for their collaboration in ensuring a high-quality and efficient audit process. We are grateful for the opportunity to work with such a high-performing, diligent team of people. Thank you for your time and have a nice evening.
So as mentioned, I would like to welcome to the podium Frank, who's our Vice President of Finance and Corporate Services, who will speak to our financial statements directly. Frank, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Melanie. And no, I did not pay Kelsey for those kind remarks at the end of her report. Good evening, members, guests, board of directors, and colleagues. I will provide or I guess I should use Trevor's words, that my purpose tonight is to provide a financial summary of our year-end audited consolidated financial statements of East Coast Credit Union. And firstly, and hopefully this is, I'll try not to drone on this. So we have about 5 slides. I'll try to go through them as quickly as possible. Just really, I think you've got a one-pager, which kind of shows you numbers at a point in time. Doesn't give you any context. So here, in these slides, you'll see kind of a 5-year summary. Gives you kind of how things are trending for the credit union. And firstly, the first slide is just on our asset growth. And we were mentioned the amalgamation of Provincial Government Employees Credit Union effective Jan 1 of 2025. Well, of the $248 million year-over-year increase in assets, which was a 16% increase, PGE contributed almost $50 million of that. Organic growth was about $82 million, and our private lending subsidiary, Yes Capital, contributed $117 million of that $248 million. On the equity side, I think on our annual report, we provide a consolidated equity or capital ratio. There is a requirement regulator to do that on a non-consolidated basis. And then you can see from this slide that we're at 6.47% at the end of the fiscal year. However, we did, subsequent to year-end, declare Yes Capital declared a dividend to East Coast, and on a pro forma basis at December 31st, our equity ratio returns to 7.40%. Looking at our balance sheet further on the loans side, you can see that, again, that we had strong growth year over year, 16%, roughly just over 200 million year over year. And again, provincial government contributed 36 million of that. We had organic growth of 54, and Yes Capital growth of about 113 million year over year. And just to kind of put things in a little bit in perspective, as you can see that Yes Capital total loans increased, essentially from roughly about 10% in fiscal 2024 to 16% on a consolidated basis of East Coast loan portfolio. Over on the deposit side, you can see again we had strong growth in deposits. Over 215 million, 17%. So really, again, provincial government contributed 44 million. We also raised deposits from non-members, roughly about 80 million, and organic through, obviously, deposit campaigns we've had throughout the year, growth of about 91 million. So over on the income statement side, so just this first chart, depicts kind of a breakdown of our revenue between interest revenue and non-interest fee-based revenue, which has stayed relatively consistent, obviously, over between 2024 and 2025. Our margins, you see, have improved. A lot of that is reflective of the fact that we're getting higher risk-adjusted returns from our Yes Capital portfolio, which has obviously grown enormously year over year, and also with loans repricing at higher interest rates and or deposits repricing at lower interest rates. On the operating expense side, again, we've had large increases in operating expenses year over year the past couple of years, largely attributed to additional staff resources essentially required to enhance the member experience, whether in person, through the virtual branch, online, or through the app, and also mitigate security risks such as cybersecurity risk. In addition, we mentioned the banking system conversion in 2025, and that certainly had an impact on higher costs related to that. And also, as we grow as a credit union, additional members, that means additional transactions and payment processing costs also naturally would rise higher. As a result of the increase in operating expenses, however, our efficiency ratio, which is a measure of which normally, a lower number is a better number. So that's something that we're looking at as an executive team, as a senior leadership team, as a focal point through process automation and enhanced cost control is going forward. Just the next couple of slides, just the first one is just on our essentially credit quality of our loan portfolio. You can see it's been trending up in terms of delinquency rates, which is typical of the sector. I think one measure there, the green line, which is our 30-plus day delinquency ratio. If you're putting that in perspective, the 1.9%, in terms of the average for the industry, at least in Nova Scotia, according to Equifax, is about 1.65%. But that includes all the big banks. And we typically, as a credit union, we have a different underwriting philosophy, and a lot of the times unlike the chartered banks, we prioritize working with our members that may be experiencing financial challenges rather than proceeding to foreclosure as a first step. And an example of that are just, to put that, if you look at our foreclosures, it's 2023 to 2025, we've only foreclosed on two mortgages, and those were homes that were abandoned. So we've not really had put anyone out of their homes, in that span of time. Lastly is liquidity. Again, another regulatory requirement is to maintain cash and high quality liquid assets equal to 9% of our deposits and borrowings. And that first chart there depicts the fact that we have been building up our liquidity reserves over the past few years, and certainly we've been doing that through a combination of securitizing some of our mortgage portfolio and also through raising money through the broker deposit channel to fund our double-digit loan growth that we've been experiencing in the past few years. So that concludes my financial summary. I'm not sure if I was within the time limit allotted, but I welcome any questions from the floor and online. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. So you've heard the audit opinion from BDO and information from Frank on the financial statements. And so at this point, I would like to call for the approval of the 2025 auditor's report for East Coast Credit Union. So I'd be looking for a motion from the floor for the approval of the auditor's report as presented.
I will motion Adele Hunt.
Thank you, Adele. I need a seconder, please.
Kayla Partridge.
I love it, Kayla. Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that the auditor's report be approved as presented. All those in favor signify with an aye. Contrary minded. The motion is carried and the auditor's report has been approved. I would now like to ask Dan Fougere, who is the Audit Committee Chair, to come forward to make a motion to appoint our external audit firm for the coming fiscal year. It's right here, Dan. You're all set.
Thank you, Melanie. In a year that presented many challenges, BDO carried out their external audit responsibilities with a high degree of competence and professionalism. So on behalf of our audit committee, I move that East Coast Credit Union engage BDO or successors as our external auditors for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026.
Thank you, Dan. Can I have a seconder, please?
John Burke.
Thank you, John. It's been moved and seconded to appoint BDO as our external auditor for the 2026 fiscal year. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Contrary minded? The motion is carried and BDO has been appointed as the external auditor for the upcoming fiscal year. Thanks, Dan. Each year, the board appoints a nominations committee, which makes its best efforts to identify and encourage nominations from eligible members. And those members, we hope, are representative of the diversity of our credit union, and that they possess the skills, knowledge, and expertise which is required to serve on your board of directors. The committee reviews the nominations to ensure that the nominees are eligible candidates for the board of directors. For your own interest, eligibility requires nominees to be members in good standing. They must also be over the age of 18. They need to be nominated by a minimum of 2 members, and they are required to submit an overview of their interest and related experience and skills. And so if you voted in the election and you've seen online, we do post their bios and some short clips so you can get to know those nominees. This year, there were three-year term positions up for election. The call for nominations was made on January the 30th and was concluded on February the 27th. This call for nominations resulted in a record, I think, since I have been on the board, a record slate of 8 candidates. So that is very exciting to see that kind of interest. Online and electronic in-branch voting took place between March 27th and April 17th. We held a member contest this year, which we've been doing the past number of years, where members who voted and consented to enter their name in the draw had a chance to win one of 3 prizes, being $500, $300, and $100. So we conducted the prize draw just prior to this meeting. And so the winner of the $500 prize is John Gaudette with our Antigonish branch. The winner of our $300 prize is Caitlin Gunn with our New Glasgow branch. And the winner of the $100 prize is Elizabeth Cameron with our Mabu branch. So thank you to everyone for voting and joining the contest. Thank you, yes. So we'll make sure that our winners are contacted and presented with their winnings. So we also hold staff contests when it comes to director nominations and election, where the branch with the highest percentage of their members that vote in the election win a pizza party for the staff. So that's also fun. And we are pleased to announce that the winning branch is not Havre-Boucher this year. I overheard somebody say Havre-Boucher. They win every year, I know. But this year it's Mabu. So congratulations to the folks in Mabu. 2.8% of their members voted in the election, so thanks to all of the members who voted, of course, but particularly the Mabu members. Thank you for your efforts to promote the election to your membership, to the staff of the Mabu branch. At this point, I would now like to ask Andrew Skinner Ryan. We haven't made him do much, so we have to get him to do something, who's our parliamentarian and scrutineer, to announce the election results.
Thank you, Melanie. As mentioned, my name is Andrew Skinner Ryan, and I have the privilege of serving as legal counsel for Atlantic Central, as well as Leak Savings and Mortgage Company. So we get to support the credit union sector across Atlantic Canada. So this year, East Coast Credit Union utilized the e-voting service of CUES, the Credit Union Executive Society, for the 2026 Board of Directors election, which ran from March 27th to April 17th. With members being able to vote electronically or in the branch. As tabulated, there were 587 total ballots cast with no invalid ballots. The election results were confirmed by the CUES election manager. So the elected directors are, in alphabetical order by last name, William Franklin, Julie Marchand, and Mary Oxner. So congratulations, folks. And back to Melanie.
Thank you, Andrew. At this point, I would like to call for a motion to destroy the ballots. So we would need someone from the floor to make a motion to move to destroy the ballots. So again, a reminder to state your name and come to the microphone. Kayla.
I make a motion.
Thank you.
Kayla Partridge.
Oh, no. What? Really? Okay, yes.
I'll second it. It's Claire Rankin.
Excellent, thank you. It's been moved and seconded that we destroy the ballots for the Board of Directors election. All those in favor, please signify with an aye. Contrary minded, the motion is carried. The ballots will be destroyed. I don't really know what that means in an electronic vote. I think they blow up a computer. I don't really know. I'm going to ask Oliver later. He's our IT. Okay, so at this point we move to the old business section of the agenda. If we have any questions regarding old business, this would be a time to come forward to the microphone. People say, what is old business? Okay, anything online, Caroline? Good to go? Okay, hearing none, we would now move to the new business portion of the meeting. And so at this point, I would like to open the floor for any new business. So again, as a reminder, the microphones are available if you're in person for your commentary, and then also the chat online, which Caroline will let me know if folks have things to discuss there. So looking for any new business topics.
Debbie Romaine. I was just wondering, these things you gave us are designed in Massachusetts. Don't you think we should have something local?
Well, I didn't order them, so I'm just going to hold tight here a second and see if Sally wants to.
East Coast Lifestyle or some local company should be. The U.S. is not good.
Where do we order them? Do we order them online or something? We're not even sure if we know where we ordered them from, so just hold on. We're just trying to determine if they were made there or if purchased through a business from there. Not sure.
So they were purchased from Power Promotion, which is a Dartmouth company. They're made with our recycled materials, but they could very well come from the U.S. So we'll check into that, but that's where it was bought by. They were purchased by a local company or from a local company.
Well, at least that's good news.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
And we do take lots of efforts to support local business, for sure, but your point is well made. Any other items of new business? Okay, so hearing no other new business, time for us to move forward to our closing and adjournment. So first off, I would like to finish by thanking our marketing and communications team, our corporate support team, and the many staff volunteers for their role in putting this evening together for us. It really was quite amazing. I would like to thank the staff of the Port Hawkesbury Civic Center for hosting us this evening. A special thank you to the team at Basil Audio Visual for providing our live stream services this evening. I hope it was pleasant for folks who are watching online. I also would like to particularly say thank you to everyone for attending this evening, both those folks who are here in person and certainly those people who are watching via our live stream. Having concluded our business agenda for the evening, I declare. Wait, I can't declare the meeting's over. I have to say, if you're here in person, you might have noticed there's a beautiful spread of snacks and beverages at the back of the room. So please don't run away without enjoying some of those beautiful snacks. And I would say find the people with the pretty skirts and dresses and ask them questions about their trip. Yeah. Okay, so back to the formal things. Kathy. Yes, that's right. And Caroline doesn't have on a very colorful skirt, but Caroline did go. And Sally, you also went on the trip. So just a few people, if you're interested to hear more about it, certainly would say you should hunt them down and ask them questions because it's a pretty interesting event. All right, back to the formal things, which is the conclusion and adjournment of our meeting. So having concluded our business agenda for the evening, I declare the meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night.